Been making this for many years now, and I kind of vary the recipe about every time I make it, but I'm just kind of going through the basic steps. I've already got my brown chuck going in the electric skillet, browning it, and got about 3 pounds. You can use whatever meat you want. You can use just regular ground beef, or use deer meat, ground turkey, sausage. You know, mix it up. You know, I have added sausage in with mine before. I've used some ground turkey with it before. I just prefer the ground chuck. It's got about the right amount of fat that I like. It's not super greasy, but it's enough to add flavor. Now I'm adding some chopped onions. I've got about 6 onions, which looks like a lot, and it is, but I like onions. I'm going to season a little bit with some salt. I'll layer on the seasoning as I go. A little black pepper. And a little bit of garlic. I like a lot of garlic. And I like to cook my onions with my hamburger so they'll kind of wilt down. Most people don't like it real chunky. I don't mind chunky, kind of firm vegetables, but it's going to take a few minutes to get this all cooked down. So it'll take a few minutes to brown this meat. Okay, we're about halfway done on browning the meat. You see the onions are kind of wilting down. Another thing that a lot of times add is chopped up bell peppers, you know, green, yellow, red, whatever I've got on hand, usually whatever's on sale. But I would probably put them in by the time I put the onions in, and let them wilt down also. And if you had like fresh jalapenos, you could chop them up, put in here at that time too. Okay, we're back. I finished browning the beef, and I transferred over into my chili pot along with the onions, and I tried to drain it as I scooped it over. If you get a little grease in it, that's okay. That's just a little extra flavor. Doesn't hurt a thing. So now I'm going to add my seasoning to it. I'm going to put some chili powder first off. Use all this rest of that bottle, put much in that. So I'm going to add some more from this other container. A 4-ounce container, I usually put about half of it, so I had about 2 ounces in that other one, or about 1 ounce in that other one, so I'm going to put about a couple ounces out of that. I'm going to stir it up. I always put my dry spices in first, mix them in with the meat. Like that takes on the flavor of the spices. And then also, chili powder's got, you know, various spices in it, probably paprika and cumin and different kind of peppers, but I like to add extra paprika, probably about a tablespoon, and some extra cumin, probably, you know, tablespoon, so of that. That's about like a tablespoon. And also, don't forget the garlic. And probably a tablespoon of that. Just dump them in there. I use chili hot beans. We use about 6 standard cans of chili hot beans. Whatever brand you like. I usually just get what's on sale, whatever's cheapest. Beans are beans. I like to get the chili hot because they got some chili seasoning in them, so that just adds a little depth to the flavor, and that way they're already flavored. More of these. I like a lot of beans in my chili. I like beans. Stir that around a little bit, mix it in with the meat. Now I got the meat and beans in there and my spices. That's going to add 6 cans of diced tomatoes. There again, just whatever brand you like, whatever's on sale. You know, these are the petite diced. You can use the bigger chunks, whatever you like. So there's my tomatoes. I'm gonna mix them in. Stir that in some. So now I've got 3 big cans of tomato sauce, which will be about 3 small cans. Stir that up some. So that's got that all mixed in. And last ingredient, some sugar. Kind of balance the flavor out a little bit. So that's probably 6 tablespoons there, you know, probably a couple tablespoons each one of these, so that's probably about 6 tablespoons. Now, stir that in. Now your flavor is going to build once you start cooking. I'm just going to get a little bite here just to kind of see where it's at. That's pretty good right there. So now I'll take it over to the stove. Okay, now I've got it on the stove and I've got the heat on medium high, number 6 on my stove. And we're going to leave it there to heat up so it starts bubbling, starts getting warm, start seeing some heat. And then when it gets to that point, we're going to turn it down to real low and let it just simmer. But you want to leave it on medium till it gets cooking good. You got to really come back and stir it pretty regular because it will stick because it's kind of thick. So you want to keep it stirred. That's why you want to keep it medium heat right now. And then, you know, once you turn it down to simmer, you want it really super low. And I've got it on a big burner, but it's a slow burner. I don't have it on my high powered burner because I know it would burn it up then. So I probably take 15 minutes to a half hour for it to get good and start, you know, cooking, boiling or bubbling a little bit, steaming. That's when I'll cut it down, and I just let it simmer as long as I can, as long as I can stand it till I get hungry. Which, you know, at least an hour, at least simmer an hour, 2 or 3 if you can hold off that long. Okay, we're back. It's been a couple of minutes, and I'm gonna stir it again. The question was asked, do I add water to it? And the answer is no, I don't add water. I just go ahead and use, you know, there's plenty of liquid in the tomatoes. And, you know, the onions are going to have some liquid still cooking out of those. But I really like mine thick. Okay, we're back again. We're still waiting for it to get heating real good. Question was asked, what size pot do I use? That's a 16 quart copper bottom pot, stainless steel. You know, pretty heavy. I mean, it's, you know, it's a decent one. It's not super fancy, but years ago when I first started making my chili, I bought a big pot and it was aluminum. It was the cheapest thing I could find. And the first batch of chili I made, it started burning on the bottom and it kind of melted down, you know, inside, and it just, once the match losing the pot, it ruined my chili. Okay, we're back. It's been probably 45 minutes, close to an hour, and it's finally come up to a boil. This stove is new to me, so it's taking a little longer than what I thought it would. It's come up to a boil, so now I'm going to thicken it. I've got some cornstarch here, probably it's like 3 very heaping teaspoons. I'm going to add a little water to it, a little cold water. Got my little baby whisk. So now, I've got that. I'll add that to my chili. Stir it in as a pour. That sink. And let that kind of start bubbling and boiling again. So your cornstarch mixture doesn't really start to work until your liquid starts boiling again. So you have to bring it back up to a boil, which shouldn't take very long, and it kind of makes it a little thicker, and it kind of gives it a little bit of a creamy texture. I don't know, I just like it that way. So hopefully it'll start boiling here soon again, and we'll come back and check it then. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes, and it's starting to boil again. And I just want to remind everybody that when you got it on the high heat, this whole hour or so, I've been coming and checking it at least every 5 minutes, if not more often. Especially as it gets hotter, the more you want to check it and stir it. Stir from the bottom, because this stuff will stick very easily. So now that I've got it started boiling a little bit and I've stirred it, I'm going to cut the heat way down to like a low simmer. And still, I want to keep checking it, stirring it, and we'll let it simmer there for a while. Like I said before, you can let it simmer hours, a couple hours if you want to. The longer you simmer, the more the flavor will mix in there. So it's also good to freeze. That's a big pot. If you can't eat a big pot like that, separate it out in some freezer containers and let it cool down really good before you put it in the freezer, and it freezes really well, and you can pop it out anytime you want. So we'll check back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back, and we've let it simmer for a while, and so we're gonna serve some of this up. Put it in a bowl, and do a scoop here. Put some in a bowl, and I like to put oyster crackers is what I like in mine. You can put saltines or none at all, or I like to put a few oyster crackers and some shredded cheese. This is just a blend, Mexican blend cheese or whatever, just whatever cheese I've got, that's what I do. And it's ready to go, and I hope you'll enjoy this. Try this recipe, enjoy it as much as my family and I enjoy it.